Good morning, loves. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living Love Stream, July 12th edition. My name is Travis Hogue, and I'm the Love Stream host this morning. Gina Girolamo has the day off. We'll be back next week. We send our love and appreciation to you, Gina D. Okay, feel free to start a watch party. Share this love stream with your friends. Reverend Elizabeth and Reverend Diane will be joining us shortly. And we are so grateful this morning for our musical inspiration. Dear friend Jessie Power is joining us. Light our way, Jessie.
Let's do it. All right. This is my wake-up song from me to you. Feel free to sing along. Quite easy to get the lyrics. I promise. I'll help you. Here we go. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. Jump on. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. One more time. I woke up this morning joyful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. And I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. I love being alive. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing about my life. Grateful. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. Feel grateful. Grateful as can be. Think of something. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. Something you're grateful for. I woke up this morning grateful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. And I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Yeah, I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Okay. You guys know me. I've been here. You see me playing around up here. And then we're going to play together, okay? I don't know if you remember this, but we're going to play this together. And we're going to be as playful as possible. So feel free to turn into your favorite animal while you sing this. Or mimic your partner. Or mimic your cat. Or mimic your kid, okay? Or be a robot. Anything you want. Ready? Playful. I woke up this morning. Playful to me. Go. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I sleep. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I sleep. I'll do country. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I'll sleep. Get crazy with it. Meow, 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 meow. That was a dog. Guinea pig? Anybody? See? One more time. I woke up this morning playful as can be. That's how I spend my day and that's how I sleep. And I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. I love being alive. I love being alive. It's the greatest thing about my life. Feel it, feel it. I love being alive. should get mine. Frozen. What's happening? I couldn't hear you.
How about I turn my sound up?
There you are.
Yay, there we are. I love being alive. That was my bad. Sorry, I didn't have my sound on.
Okay.
Yay. So that was so fun. We're so glad you're here with us again, Jessie.
Me
We
too.
love you.
Happy to be here. I love you guys.
Yay. So Travis is helping us today with StreamYard, and so it's my turn now. I was a little discombobulated. I was in the playful mode. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister for the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, and I am loving being alive today. I'm so happy to be here with you. We're broadcasting live from our condo in San Luis Obispo, and Jessie is in Ohio, I believe, and we've got Reverend Diane coming on shortly, and she is in Los Osos, so it's a mighty magnificent day. Now, it is my great honor to welcome you to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. And now I will read our affirmation for today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I make no secret of my connection with the divine. I give it freely, shining brightly for the liberation of humanity. And so it is. And now I'll turn it over to Travis, who will introduce our musician for the day. Hello, Travis.
Yay! All right. And that's right. My name is Travis Hogue, and I'm doing double duty today. I'm the music director here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, and it is my great honor to introduce our musician for today, Jessie Power. So while I read a little bit of her short bio, Jessie Powers is a South Carolina native, now living in Columbus, Ohio. Her pop vocal stylings and tumbling melodies, along with her poignant and emotional lyricism, aim to entertain and awaken those who are willing to hear it. To hear her. Her second album, To Remember, drops this year. Yes. Her social media handle is at Jessie Powers Music, and her website is jessiepowersmusic.com. And I'm going to put that banner up here. This little ticker is going to show up. There it is. Please do yourself a favor. Go visit her website. She's got some free songs. She's got free videos. She's got amazing videos up there. It is my great honor to introduce you all. Jessie Powers, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so honored. Thank you, Travis. So we're talking a little bit about freedom today. And one of the things that I definitely had to do to even just taste that feeling of freedom is learn forgiveness, specifically for myself. So we're going to sing about that today. And I'll let you know when your part comes up. It's real easy. So many years I've hidden, so many lies I've told, out of the ignorance of youth, or as a woman too afraid of truth. So many things mistaken, so much guilt I hold, buried alive like a weight on my chest. It stole my breath and I went cold. But how I long for the warmth of love, for the softer side of me. The time is now, I shall be free. This is your part. It goes, I forgive myself. Ready? I forgive myself I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for everything. Expectations shattered, promises unkept. So many times I swore I'd change. Years go by and I'm still the same. And now I long for tenderness and grace at my own hands. I am the one I understand. Ready? I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Think of something you need to forgive yourself for and say it. Myself. I forgive myself. Free yourself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. One more time. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for everything, for everything. Hey, hey, oh, oh. It's the faith I had in myself turned to confusion. It's such a slow erosion. Seemed that hope and trust were just another couple illusions. But somewhere deep inside I realize I am worthy. I am somebody who can be relied on. So I'm gonna put my faith in me. I put my faith in me once again. For I have found redemption. I put my faith in me. I put my faith in me once again. Oh, I have found redemption. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Here we go. I forgive myself. Join in. I forgive myself. Hold that thing in your heart. I forgive myself. That thing you need to forgive yourself for. I forgive myself because it's been holding on too long. I forgive myself. It's time to let it go. I forgive myself because you deserve to be free. I forgive myself. Really forgive yourself. Really do it. Myself. One more time. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for everything. For everything. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive myself.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. And with that, I'll wish you all a good morning. Good morning, CSL. I will now read our mission statement. And let me just bring this up here. All right. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out? Yeah, that's right. So I would like to introduce a coffee and conversation afterwards. It's a Zoom call around 11 a.m.-ish. And I will provide a link for that in the comment section here so you can find it on our sender page. Also in the conversation event. And with that, we build our immunity and spiritual community. Please remember to join us for our Zoom calls Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. This is for your spiritual check-in call. All are welcome. So if you find yourself at that time, that's Pacific Standard Time, come and join us for that. You can also find this link on our Facebook page under events. And next Sunday, July 19th at 11:30 a.m., we're going to have a virtual baby shower via Zoom for Yaneli and Andrew. Woohoo! Join us in celebrating these two beautiful souls and their beautiful baby coming soon. All right, that's going to be next Sunday. Our White Fragility book study continues. For those who have already signed up, our next meeting will be Thursday, July 16th at 6 p.m. Reading assignments are chapters 10, 11, and 12. Reverend Elizabeth will send out the discussion questions to prepare for the next meeting. And just added, Reverend Diane will facilitate a grief support group via Zoom on Tuesdays beginning August 4th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for 5 weeks. No fee to attend, love offerings accepted. Please email info@cccSL.org to register. Thank you so much. And next Sunday, our musician will be the amazing Laura Berman. And so you'll want to definitely check us out for that. And if you're watching this on our YouTube or watching the replay and you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our channel, the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living YouTube channel. This thing is where all of our videos get posted. Wonderful. And lastly, if you are able, please remember to continue to donate to our center during this unique time. Our operations are fully supported by your generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in the future. You can donate here on Facebook Live with the donate button. Gina would usually provide the PayPal link to donate in the comment section, but I think she actually already did that before the live stream started, so that's great. You can also visit our landing page and click the donate link at the center of the page, and we just want to thank you for your consideration. We love you, we appreciate you, and we're so grateful for this technology that allows us to be together here. And with that, I'm going to bring Reverend Elizabeth back into the stream. Once here she is. All right.
Yes. Hello, beloveds. Thank you, Travis. You're doing an outstanding job. We're so grateful for you. Let's give Travis some love, everybody. Woo! So if you have anything that is heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe there's something you're looking to manifest in your life, I would invite you to send a prayer request to info@cccSL.org. And, the prayer team will pray over this for the next week for you. And the prayer team consists of myself, our assistant spiritual director, Reverend Diane, and our practitioner, Maria Bucaro, who, while she's not currently at the center physically, she is still here, and we're loving you. I know you're watching, Maria. Hello. And so she is also a licensed practitioner and praying over these prayers for you. And now I would like to turn it over to Travis, who will do a Science of Mind reading from the Science of Mind magazine for us today in Charlie's absence. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you so much. And this Science of Mind reading comes from the Science of Mind magazine, July edition, page 44. And here we go. The shared spiritual unity and oneness of all beings is a fundamental tenet in every major faith tradition, including New Thought, where religious science abides. Love thy neighbor as thyself. It is so basic and real that we experience it every day on personal levels, yet it is so tenuous and challenging that we still live in a world that participates in wars and injustices of all kinds. Our primal fears about the other, meaning anyone not like ourselves, create walls that need windows at the very least to begin reaching out to each other with open hands instead of weapons. What will our world be like when we have no need for windows because there are no longer walls? What a beautiful vision Rumi had. It reminds me of one of the points in our philosophy's creed, what we call what we believe. This particular tenet says, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. It may sound like a fantasy. We may sound like dreamers, but I bet we're not the only ones, to paraphrase John Lennon. There are more than 7.794 billion people in the world now. And like many, many others, I try to remember that every one of them is my neighbor, my brother, my sister, myself. Let's make a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Woo! All right. And now with that, I'm going to bring Reverend Diane back into the stream for our opening prayer treatment. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you, Travis. That was beautiful. And let's just take those beautiful words that Travis just shared with us, that energy, the feeling those words inspired in each of you right here, right now, that freedom. And in that freedom, we release any worries or concerns or confusions, because I'm going to invite us to move into our inner sanctuary of our heart. And in this place, we can trust and we let go. And it is in this place I can feel and I know that God is all there is. There is nothing but God, and whatever word you want to use for your divine inspiration, use it. There are infinite words to express our love of the divine. And this present is everywhere. There is no spot where God is not. It is magnificent. It is joyful. It is peace. It is tender. It is our freedom. And God is the infinite being of who we are. And that beingness is in me, as me, for me, and through me. And what's true for me is true for each and every one of you. We are all manifestations of this one mind, this one heart of God, expressing itself in our own unique, individual way. And it is in this place that I know and I speak my word of our freedom, because that is our divine birthright. Freedom is our natural state of being. There is nothing other. And in practicing this freedom within myself, I know I can share that with a kind word to someone, a smile that looks like someone needs it, that's feeling a little bit down. I can share it with a listening ear or a tender word or a helping hand. It is in that place that we come together, knowing that we are heart to heart, one to one. And I know that today in our service, for all of you that are watching, we are so blessed to have you listening to us today. We are blessed in gratitude that you continue to support us. You can continue to unify with us our message that we have here, that we are all loved. We are all expressions of the divine, and we embrace each other right where we are on our spiritual journey. And today I'm embracing Jessie, as she has inspired me to feel like a little 21-year-old again. I love her enthusiasm. I love her creativity, as she allows us to be everything that we can imagine to be. And Travis, you are the master of your craft. You are guiding us today in clarity and knowing that we are all working together to bring this message to each and every person here today. And I send special prayers right now to Gina. as she is with a family that is in need. I also send special prayers to Charlie and his family, to Lori, to BJ, to Greta, to Maria's mother. And in this moment right now, I invite you to evoke anyone that's in your heart or in your mind that you would like to send special prayers to in this moment of silence. And we say yes. We say yes to the divine healing law of God. And we know that today, Reverend Elizabeth allows our minds to be open and expanded greater than we could have ever imagined before, as she is that divine vessel of spirit, as she speaks through herself into all of our hearts, allowing us to stretch and to grow and to reach areas within our mind that we could never have thought would have been there. She is such a gift to all of us, as she truly, I know, inspires myself. And so today is a great day for all of us to move into the fullness of our freedom that we were each given at our birth. And as I move into the time together here, our sacred time together, I know that we are each blessed. We are each blessed in the divine word of God. And so I simply relax in gratitude. I affirm my vision of healing for our community, ourselves, and our world. As I release, I exhale into the greater law of the one mind of God, as we say together, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Diane. That was beautiful. So, moving forward with this theme of freedom, this song is called Jump. And I invite you to go off a cliff with me and feel the wind under your wings. These are your wings. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Another day goes by, will I say yes to myself? Or will I hide in my mind and leave my soul on the shelf? Another moment drifts and I'm rifling in the past. It's just more time that I won't get back. Oh, and I know there's an open door. Oh, I don't know what I'm waiting for, but I've been climbing this mountain for as many years as I am old. Now that I'm here with a clear view from the top, well, there's only one way to go. And my mind said, honey, don't be dumb. But everything in my body said, jump.
Yeah, Rev, you gonna jump? Get it? Yeah! Oh, I forgot my lyrics. I was so distracted by your dancing. Oh no. Hold on. It'll come back. It'll come back, I swear. I got it. There was a love between my feet and solid ground. Now every footprint I make is a romance fading out. There's a lesson with every barefoot summer fling, and it's that true love was always meant to turn your feet to wings. Oh, and I've never felt the sky before. I wonder how it feels to trust something unsure. And my mind said, honey, don't be dumb. But everything in my body said, jump. I won't forget any more lyrics, Rev. You can come back on and dance if you want. Here we go. I've been climbing this mountain for as many years as I am old. And now that I'm here with a clear view from the top, well, there's only one way to go. And my mind said, honey, don't be dumb. Here we are. We're teetering on the edge. Get ready. Ready? Stick your arms out and pretend you're flying. I'm flying, yay, I'm free. Oh,
Still muted. There we go. Thank you so much, Jessie. Amazing. Oh, we just love you. Yeah.
So fun. I love how everyone was flying with me.
Yeah. Do you say jump? We say how high. Oh boy, it's so good to have you here. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. Hello again. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living in Templeton. I'm so happy that you joined us here today. And wow, so far the service has been off the charts. Amazing with Travis, Reverend Diane, and Jessie. These three are so magnificent. And I'm so grateful for Reverend Diane's opening prayer and for her mentioning our community members and their families. And we are having a lot of our members who are really tender right now, you know? And so I feel like that is a theme that is pretty common in all communities during this time, because, you know, things are magnified. So whatever is happening tends to be like a laser focus, and it's magnified by about 10,000 times. And we are feeling our feelings in a deeper, more intense way than we normally do. So my heart is reaching out to all of you out there and sending you so much love from here. So please know that you continue to be in our thoughts and in our prayers. We love you. We thank God for you. And today is July 12th, in case you didn't know. And the theme for July is Unchained Spirituality. And the topic today, July 12th, is None Are Free Until All Are Free. And once again, I really enjoyed seeing the conversation that occurred on the ministers' Google group over the weekend. And it began with a question that I thought was very powerful. Somebody said, if none are free until all are free, does that mean that Jesus was not free or Buddha was not free? And that's sort of how this conversation began. And it really helped me get some clarity on what I believe this means. And so I believe that, yes, Jesus, Buddha, Ernest Holmes, Amma, and so forth, all of these individuals were bodhisattvas. And just as Mother Teresa and Dalai Lama and the like were all bodhisattvas. And this is also the role that we as ministers who are teaching spiritual truth at Centers for Spiritual Living, this is the call that we have taken up, and we've answered the call to do so. And but those individuals are free, and they recognized and understood that they were called to share this freedom with others so that they would also be free. So that's the direction we're going to take in this talk today. And I'd like to begin first of all, by discussing with you personal freedom and collective freedom. So there's really two freedoms that we're looking at. And the first one is personal freedom. You know, we're all born with a freedom which is inherent to us. And then we get things layered upon us as we go through our lives, you know. They're layered upon us by societal structures, family structures, our community structures, and so forth. And so all of that is layered upon, and then sometimes as a result of that, we end up in bondage, thinking things like we're not enough, or we're too much, or whatever the case may be. However we get into bondage, it's bondage, yes? And so personal freedom is the freedom that can be achieved within. And this is done by freeing yourself from the bondage of the self, which is in your thinking, right? So we come to this teaching and learn and understand that, well, yes, we do have the power to change our thoughts so that we can change our life. And that's the welcome. All that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. And there's little steps along the way, right? And one leads to the next, leads to the next. And it's almost like the key that is put into that door. It turns the lock and opens the door into freedom on so many levels. So, for instance, if suddenly you learn that one thing, that there actually is nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong here, that opens up a whole new world. If you can live and move and have your being through the entire world as if there is nothing wrong here, then your perspective is totally different. The way that you move through the world becomes an opportunity. You begin to see infinite potentiality and possibility wherever you find yourself. And so that is but one. And further illuminating that while on the personal level, I myself might be working toward and experiencing my own freedom, which is to be free of doubts, fear, worry, limited thinking, and so forth, free in my mind despite external conditions. And if you want to look up Hurricane Carter is a great example of someone who was actually wrongly sentenced for murder, I believe, and he was put in prison and he served 20 years of time. And he found a way to be free in his mind. And so there's also Nelson Mandela and others. So they found ways to experience personal freedom. But the notion that my personal level experience is independent of your experience, that's an illusion. So when we come to the place of understanding and truly getting that there is no separate personal level, only a personal experience of this universal truth, then we can expand and really see the world in a whole new, magnificent way. So the collective consciousness of freedom is in the realm that we all suffer together. Have you noticed? Of course you've noticed. There's so much going on right now, right? Beginning with the COVID-19 pandemic, which came to the United States, and we started sheltering in place in mid-March. And then we began to feel that, and it was this cry of the earth, and there was so much experience, and humanity was coming together like never before with a generous sharing of resources and caring and so much love. We had heroes, and we were looking for the helpers, and we found them. And it was just so magnificent to see us all come together. And this is why we work towards a world that works for everyone, so that we can experience this collective consciousness of freedom, not just for the few who have achieved nirvana. Freedom is not just for Jesus, Buddha, Ernest Holmes, Amma, and so forth. It's for everyone. And then we had the experience of George Floyd being murdered, and it was like, we felt this on such a deep, intense level because we are a collective. You can't run away from it. You cannot hide from it, right? So the moment that I think my personal level of freedom is independent of you and yours, that is when I step into ego, or ego takes over and then seeks to defend and protect and act in ways of greed and possession and oppression of others, like the current condition of humanity, which is really to say that the very problem with the world is that we think we can have a personal freedom that's separate and isolated from others. And having it be a separate, isolated freedom that we actually own, when the freedom that we have is an expression of the universal truth and it's a collective thing. So this awakened realization, my friends, is that the personal level is only an individualized experience of the universal. It feels personal because it's manifesting at the level of this point of consciousness, your point of consciousness, right? It manifests at that level, so it feels like it's mine, that's ego. Oh, this is mine, my precious, right? And the real demonstration, though, that we actually have achieved a level of freedom consciousness is that instead of holding it as a personal possession, I am free, then we begin to cherish it as a personalized experience of a universal truth. And as such, now we work toward the liberation of others. Do I have your attention? Right? Sign me up for that. Yes? Oh my goodness. So now we can work towards the freedom of others. Now, this is so powerful. You can ask anyone in the 12-step program that about this. They don't have their sobriety in check until step 12, which is helping others achieve them in their sobriety. It is then and only then that you literally step out of yourself and into the universal truth. You begin to, in that moment, you really merge with that truth because you're stepping into it, you're becoming it, and then you're sharing it by guiding people into what you have learned so that they might experience this level of freedom from the bondage of alcoholism or drug addiction or spending or whatever the case may be. And so that they might experience that freedom, the freedom that you've been experiencing, and it's the sunshine of the spirit, is it not? It is that level of freedom that you feel like you're on what they call a pink cloud. I know my 12-steppers out there are listening closely because this is what we're up to, right? What we've been up to. So you step into the consciousness then of the Bodhisattva. So the Bodhisattva is one who knows that none are free until all are free. So the 12-step programs teach us powerfully that, yes, I gain personal freedom. They call it promises. The promises will be revealed to me to a greater degree when I actually help others and help them see. So yes, none of us are free until all of us are free. If there's only one thing happening, then that is the absolute truth, right? So I did an interview this last week on Tuesday for the Heart of Paso, and that was wonderful. I really enjoyed that. And Gina was praising me at some point for something that I've been doing. And it was important for me in that moment to make the distinction that this is clearly God doing the work through me. Like, I appreciate being given the credit and the praise and the love for that. And I'm also saying this is God doing the work through me and as me, because if I don't do that, then I can allow that to consume me, and the ego is like, oh yeah, look what I can do, look what you can do. And then that becomes this weird trap of ego just wanting to keep doing things to get praise, rather than standing in the absolute truth that is the God presence, the God self, and the Bodhisattva in me that wants to teach and that has been called to teach spiritual truth, to speak spiritual truth so that the light of freedom can come on with others. So as I make this distinction that it is God doing the work as me, I am freeing myself from the bondage of ego that wants that credit. Can you get that? Or can you catch that? It's like, wow, well, thank you for this praise, but I am but a vessel for the truth. And so it's a simple shift for me, and I can sidestep that and allow the spirit within me, the spirit, the soul, right? This soul has come here with a purpose and a plan and a vision and something that it wants to say. And each one of us, this is true for as well. So if you don't know, a bodhisattva is a Sanskrit term with bodhi literally meaning enlightenment and sattva literally meaning essence. So enlightenment, essence. And bodhisattvas are beings who are dedicated to the universal awakening or enlightenment of everyone. So they exist as guides and providers of relief to suffering of all beings. So as soon as you are struck with an urge to, or an intention to take on this bodhisattva practice, you are then included in the ranks of the bodhisattvas. So that means when you are called to help, when you are called to assist in one way or another, and you do, right? Because many are called, but few are chosen. What that means is that many are called to action, but they may not heed that call. Yes. And so once you heed the call, then you are yourself a bodhisattva. And pretty much anyone who's been in a 12-step program has become a bodhisattva if they have attended meetings and shared their stories, sponsored people, and so forth. So bodhisattvas can be awesome in their power, right? They're awesome, radiant, wise, and they can be as ordinary as your next door neighbor, if that person is ordinary. But, you know, they could be very plain. They don't have to be like myself, you know, ordinary. And they appear, this is key too, the bodhisattvas appear wherever they are going to be most helpful. And so there is something within them that is pulled into a situation that allows them to share the gifts that they bring. And they bring those gifts in a way that can be most helpful. So if you consider our mission statement, my friends, it's like our center is a bodhisattva center, right? The mission statement is, with everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out? That is our mission statement. And so in that statement, we even have that included in the second sentence, freedom from suffering. So we teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, and so forth. That is what we're up to as a spiritual center, and that's powerful. This is so powerful. And so what a beautiful thing it is to remember and recognize that this bodhisattva mindset is what we're about. And so anytime you seek to guide your friend or someone who is your spiritual brother or sister from within our community or other communities alike, you are stepping into that bodhisattva mindset. And that is a beautiful, powerful thing, because you have recognized that you have something and you want the other person to have what you have. That is so awesome. And I've seen this occur for many people in our community, especially our new folks who have come in through a virtual, who aren't even living in the same state maybe, or the same town, you know, and so we're stepping up and assisting one another. So what we do in this community, like we do that in our community, we do that with the world, right? And so people come to us and we become the bodhisattva. Now I want to talk about collective freedom. So collective freedom is the natural result of our embodiment of oneness. There is only one of us here, and that's where the talk led to last week, right? There's only one thing happening here. Just one thing, not 10, not 2, not 3, one thing. And it is spirit, the divine, God, source energy, the truth, the universe, the good, whatever you call it. That is the thing that's happening. And it is one thing. So whatever affects any part of the body affects the whole body. If I have a cut, remember that conversation. If I have a cut on my finger, I can't dissociate from it's part of my body, right? And so if there is suffering in humanity, or if there is bondage or oppression, we see it and we feel it, and it's our call to action to then do something, right? We've got to do something, and it's up to us to get quiet. Individually, we get quiet and we hear, we listen for God's guidance of what that something is for us to do. What is mine to do? What is mine to do? And then we do it. We don't just hear it and ignore it. We do it, right? And so I, for one, maintain that you, my friends, are as eternal and vast as the space that spans beyond the myriad universes. And that when each one of us are meeting and greeting others, we remember and recognize that we are meeting and greeting our secret and unseen selves. That is the self within all selves, none greater or lesser in whole or worth. So when we really get that, then we can begin to see that if freedom is being denied to anyone, anywhere, then it's being denied to everyone, everywhere. We don't have to make sense intellectually of what that means for my literal friends out there, because what we need to understand and recognize is that there actually is no where, there is no there in the omnipresent oneness of the divine. Whoa, right? Let's take a breath right here. Just give yourself a little hug, okay? Give yourself a hug and know that you have come here on this magnificent day because your soul is thirsty and is seeking something, and it's receiving and receptive to that something. And so as that is present here, I know that this is not about me. It's not about Reverend Elizabeth. It's about the message, right? And so we can love ourselves and know that, yeah, we are here. Humanity is experiencing so much right now, and we can love ourselves right where we are by stopping and really feeling the divine love that is flowing through us all. So I love on the first page, lots of hearts from Reverend Diane. Thank you, my dear. Love you. On the first page of chapter 1 in the Science of Mind textbook, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, wrote, "The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul." It's our birthright. So I remember the very first time I read this, oh my gosh, probably 16 years ago now, 15 or 16 years ago when I first read this. And what occurred for me in the moment that I read that, I was hooked, right? I was hooked. I was hooked because I was granted permission to free myself from this bondage of lack and limitation. I realized I was the one holding me back. I was the one thinking I wasn't good enough. I was the one standing in my own way. And so this plan, the divine plan, is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. And I was all about being God ordained, right? I was all about deepening my relationship with spirit, and I still am. And so with that, I learned and I began to experience that in my life. Another key, right? Another key that's put in that door and turned, the door opens, and then another whole new world. It's like this giant, amazing video game, but it's real, you know? And so, boom, just like that, freedom. I experienced freedom. And so remembering that we are each single points of consciousness on the planet, that like the cells in our bodies, right? There are cells in our bodies, and they're all working within the one body. We're human beings on the planet. We're all working together in the one body. If you can let your mind drift to that, and expanded that you can't quite wrap your mind around it, but that's the beauty in it, because you expand to this infinite realm of consciousness, right? And dwell in that place. Don't dwell in the place of lack and limitation. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to step out of that, right? And step into this place of realizing that all of my cells are lighting up within my body, waking each other up, right? One cell illuminates the next cell, like the little emoji gift that I love so much. And I'm going to share that again. It's that little yellow emoji, and he's a smiley, happy emoji, and he's surrounded by red emojis. And they're red because they're angry. They're upset about something. They're just angry. And the little emoji is like really bummed. And so he looks around, and I place, that's projection totally. I don't know if he's bummed or not, but he seems bummed, okay? And he just goes like this, and he's spreading that love, and he's just spreading it. And slowly, all of the little red emojis start turning yellow until they're all yellow, and they have these big smiles, right? That's what we're doing. That is the way we do our collective freedom. We show others, we spread that love, we spread that vibration of freedom and bring it, my friends. So there was only one, and it is said that Jesus said, I am with you until the end of time, which means that he reached liberation, but is now serving the many in the one to experience the liberation from the dream of separation. It's a dream. This idea of separation is a dream or an illusion. So Jesus realized that he is free, and he is serving the one until time is no more. But he isn't free, and because others aren't. He isn't free if there are others who are not free. He is free, though, and he knows everyone else is free. So that is where we're called to stand in our truth. Stand in this truth. Unwavering, my friends. You are free. Something magnificent is happening. We live in a progressive universe. Things are changing, and we've got to go with it. I mean, we're literally hurtling through space on a giant rock at like millions of miles per hour. I can't even remember the exact number. While we're spinning, right? We're also spinning. 350,000 miles per hour. The Earth is rotating and moving through the galaxy, and the galaxy is moving through the multiverse. And so we got to move with it. We are moving with it, you know? New galaxies are being discovered all the time, and it's like we're definitely progressive. So we're going to jump on this progressive train and allow ourselves to see and recognize that none are free until all are free. So for Jesus, it wasn't a wait until you become unbound game. It was more of a you are already free, but you forgot. You're already free. You just forgot. Happens to all of us, right? It happens to all of us. And so it's time for us to now remember. So there's nobody in the world that can truly take my freedom away from me. Freedom is my birthright. And as I define myself, will I be defining myself by my human experience or my fear-based belief of separation, which is actually bondage? Or do I lift up my eyes and give up that lie? Do I lift up my eyes to the spirit and stay focused on the divine absolute truth that freedom exists and it is my birthright and it is part of the divine plan? The choice is yours. Yes, you always have a choice. So I love Joel Goldsmith. He is an amazing author and metaphysician. He's a mystic, and he is very brilliant because, you know, he crossed that invisible line where he was no longer negotiating with the world of form, no longer negotiating with fear or with the belief in separation. If you read any of Joel Goldsmith's books, you'll see that he speaks the divine truth, absolute and 100% perfection, you know. And he stood in that truth. So we're called to stay in this truth and to focus on it 1,000%. Now, the question we ask ourselves, or we can ask ourselves, and what I do ask is, how courageous can I be to stay in the absolute truth? Am I willing to stand in absolute truth, not watered down truth, but absolute truth in the moments when it doesn't appear to be, in the moments of chaos, in the moments of in the depths of sorrow and sadness and any and all of that, right? Can I stand in the absolute truth in the face of my adversity? The answer is yes, right? Can I stand in the truth so I may fully experience the divine presence in all that I think, say, and do without being seduced by the thoughts that are lies? I mean, yeah, that still happens. I've been a minister for 8 years now, and I've been on the spiritual path for 15 years at least, and it still happens. Those lies are seductive, and they want to knock me off and dis or misalign me with my truth. And I know that there are just thoughts that are passing through. So every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And I'm knowing that the same is true for you. That when we hear these lies or false thoughts, we can just let them pass through and know that there is something more powerful and mighty than that illusion. So even in my illusion, I am still free, and so are you. Even when I step out of my truth and know something different, or try to convince myself of something different, it is still that I am in the truth, right? So argue for your limitations, and they're yours, in other words. Now, so back to Jesus and Buddha. So are Jesus and Buddha actually free? Yes. They are free as demonstrated by their service to others. So they are free, and they are bodhisattvas. So were bodhisattvas. They were free, and then they have committed their lives to helping other people, and even in their passing. So when we heal ourselves from that which stagnates any flow, we can become the way showers for others to do so. So we're called, really, my friends, to let go of the lies, to let go of anything that is standing in our ways. And we can become the catalyst. We become the table flippers, like Jesus in the temple, right? And the consciousness stirrers who trouble the waters so that they might heal the captive minds and set them free, so they see the truth of their divine intelligence always. Are you with me? Can I get an amen? Can I get an and so it is? Yes. Yes. So, oh my goodness. So we've been watching, reading, learning about so much pain in our world, have we not? We have been watching it on the news. We've been seeing it. They've been marching down our streets. We have been engaging in our deep dive into the White Fragility Study book, which is intense, and there's a lot of deep work, yes? And so we're doing our part to dismantle racism. And I believe that as we do so, we are really called to take time for us to step into love and to experience our own freedom, right? So, in other words, you got to just experience some love, dance a little bit, raise your own vibe, and allow yourself to be reminded of this truth that exists in you, this part of your soul that came here to shine, came here to radiate magnificence. And so it is your time to shine also. And so as we are doing this work together, I'm so grateful for this community that we can actually do this together. But what happens for us as we watch the news so much, or are seeing so much pain, is that we have this experience of our mirror neurons. So mirror neurons are actually very real. They are a variety of the visuospatial neurons, and they respond to actions that we observe in others. Now, these neurons fire when we ourselves experience these emotions or when we observe other people experiencing these emotions like happiness, anger, fear, or sadness. And when we see those, our minds, our brains don't actually know that it's being experienced by the other, and we're actually experiencing it within ourselves. Now, in our community, we call this empathy, and it's up leveled though, right? So now we are empathizing, and we have these mirror neurons that are reflecting what we're seeing happen in the world. So we have got to take time for our spiritual practice. This is so important. Step away from all of that you're seeing. Step away and take time to go within. Take this time to be deep and to deepen yourself and your spiritual practice through meditation, through prayer. Maybe you go out and jog. I do that daily. And in that jogging, I'm deepening. I am becoming present to the thing itself that walks through all feet, the self within all selves, and remembering that I am a divine being, and the divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. And so by standing in that and remembering that and staying in that, I become unwavering in my truth. And I invite you to do the same. This is so important for us. So as we experience these neurons, and we're all empaths, right? So we want to be careful not to get pulled into the sadness, the sorrow, and the suffering of the world. You know, we want to be in the world, but not of the world. In the world, but not of it means standing in the truth, witnessing and observing what's happening, feeling sad, and then moving back into our truth, right? Absolute truth, not personal truth, divine truth. The thing itself, this presence of love that wants to live through you, that wants to shine through you, that wants to heal and share this teaching through you. You know, I was reminded of the quote by Ram Dass, rest his soul, that we are all just walking each other home. We're all just walking each other home. And this home is for today, feeling this freedom. None are free until all are free. So to wrap it up, in closing, the divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. If freedom is being denied anywhere, freedom is being denied everywhere, because there is no where or there in the omnipresent oneness of the divine. If one part of the body is hurting, it affects the whole body. So stand in divine truth. Know your truth, not just your personal truth, the truth. Know this truth, and it will set you free. And in knowing this truth and sharing this truth with others, they too will be set free. That's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Let's pray. Oh my goodness, as we turn our attention inward and return to that beautiful expansive space within, I am so grateful to remember that this life is for me. This life is for me, that it is always for me and can never be against me, that I have landed into this earth suit on this planet at this time during the pandemic and the movement for racial equality and racial justice. We have each landed here for such a time as this, and we are called to do and be who and what we came here to be and do. And so I'm grateful in this moment for divine clarity. I know for each one of us that as we identify with this clarity that the way is made clear. The path is obvious. It is so right there that we have become present and available to be able to treat and move our feet, and we are in action. We are in divine right action. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of us being a witness to what is happening in the world, and for standing in our yes, for standing in the willingness and the ability to say yes to doing our work. So we are praying and we are doing our work. So we pray and we study like we're doing with white fragility. And we'll continue on with that as time goes on until we see it in our world, until we see that equality and justice. I'm so grateful for that. And this freedom that exists within us, we remember that we are one in the mind and body of God, right? We're not these separate little ego beings, and the ego would have us think that's the case, and that's just a movement in consciousness. The truth is, we are single points of consciousness on this planet, and we came here to shine, to radiate, and to share the gifts that are inherent within each of us. We're each individualized expressions, just like within the body, the cells have different jobs. So each of us have a different role and a different thing that we bring. And it is so obvious and clear for each one of us right now. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for the realization and the recognition of what that is. And I'm also very grateful in this moment for remembering that, yes, my friends, I and you are as eternal and vast as the space that spans beyond the myriad universes. That is massive. That's infinite. And that whenever we meet and greet each other, we are actually meeting and greeting our secret and unseen selves. And that is the self within all selves, not the small self, as we begin to move through the world this way. And whoever we see, friends, family, loved ones, people we don't know, the checker, the barista, the gas station attendant, whomever we see right through them to their secret and unseen self, remembering that God is all that there is. This divine thing is all that there is, and I see it. And as I see it, I have opened up this kingdom. It's like the key that has gone in and opened that door, and it's this kingdom where freedom is. And so I experience freedom, and I shine my light out to others. I'm like the little yellow emoji, spreading the vibe of love, joy, freedom, positivity, playfulness, gratitude, bliss, wisdom, connection, divine right action, health, wholeness, everything that God is. I'm sharing it, and there's more where that came from. There is an infinite wellspring and the infinite resources within us. So thank you, God. Sharing is caring, and I give thanks for this, knowing it is so. And as I send this out to that universal and creative action of the law, I know this prayer is answered and it returns manifested, and our lives are transformed because of it. So thank you for saying yes. Thank you, Spirit, for answering this prayer even before it was spoken. I now take my hands off of it and I allow it to be, knowing it is done, and so it is.
That was so beautiful, Rev. Gorgeous. I'm going to speak a little bit to that interconnectedness that you were talking about, and I invite you to breathe with me. I don't want to give words to this. Anything you have to interpret will only eclipse the heart of it. I just want to send it in sound with a wavelength clarity. Ooh. Nothing I could ever say will resonate the same way that this love does in me. Inhale, exhale, breathe. I'll sing. Inhale. Somewhere in the beat of your heart, there I am. Somewhere underneath all the words who aren't believing, there you have always been. It's something like a melody, something like a song, and it sings itself and it's never wrong. Ooh, everywhere it plays for me, it's always on repeat. It's the love song of everything. Inhale, exhale, breathe. It's not just there in my body. It's not just there in the thoughts that I think. It's there in the roots, in the skies and the seas, in the eyelids, the irises, the will and the wings, in the will be, the ever was, the reason and the just because. I am the song that I sing. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you again. All right.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
everybody. What's that?
I said you're so welcome.
Oh, cool. Yay. Yay. All right. So we have our offering affirmation, and I just want to thank those of you who have already donated to our center for Sunday today. I see donations here on Facebook. I've seen some come through on PayPal. So we're so grateful for your generosity. It really, really allows us to continue our operation. And so while we are streaming from home, we still have our center that we are maintaining, and so that it's a large facility for us to be maintaining during this time of COVID-19. And so there's still PG&E and Spectrum bills and Templeton Community Service District for water and garbage, and all of that stuff is still being paid, and salaries. So we're so grateful for you. And I invite you to now please repeat this offering affirmation after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. All right. And so, yes, as a reminder, there's paypal.me/CCCSL love. And we've got the donate button here on Facebook. And now, please join me as we turn within. And won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always. And all that we ever need do is turn within, and it is here we will find that we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think and all that we say and in all that we do. And please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it's not.
Just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo! Thank you, Jessie, Travis, and Reverend Diane. And please join us. We'll put the link for the Zoom call. If you can join us now, we'd love to see you there.
All right. Hey, Jessie, could you give us a little bit of that last song that you were doing?
That breathing song?
Yeah, you can just take us out with
Has a little
bit of
outro.
that. Yeah.
Outro.
Would you like me to sing or just instruments?
Sure, you can sing that last verse would be great.
I am the song that I sing. Inhale, exhale, breathe.
I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all that are watching on this love stream, on the replay. We appreciate your gifts, your talents, your communities. Thank you so much to all your families. We're just sending our love and appreciation out. Thank you for our musical inspiration, Jessie Powers. Please connect with her on social media. Please, and share it and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would. Share it with your friends. We love you.
Woo!
See you later, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.